Amazing what that bell can do. Happy Valentine's Day. Somebody told me that the red is for Alabama. Is that right? Or is that not right? Jared, where are you? Stand up, Jared. Welcome to the February 14th Rotary Club of Brentwood meeting. My name is Stephen Hammers. I am fortunate enough to be your president. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. You all look so good. I don't know what's up with you dudes, but you women look great. I want to thankful for where's Curry for being here. We've been praying for you and your family. With Jane, thank you so much for being here. It says a lot. It's good to be around friends when you go through a difficult time. We're going to have the invocation by Linus. I forgot to verify you're still doing it, Linus. And then the pledge and four-way test by Dick Bowers. Where is he? Tom, you want to do our pledge and four-way test? Okay.
Please pray with me. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the blessing of today, the blessing of having a special Valentine's Day event, the blessing of having so many of our spouses, significant others here with us today. It's a true blessing for us to be here in Brentwood and Williamson County, and we're grateful for it every day. Heavenly Father, please put your arms around those who are suffering. We're grateful for Curry to be here with us today. Put your arms around him and his family. And I know some other members are suffering with loss and illness, and I ask that you help to heal them, heal their hearts. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with truth and everything for all. And now for the four-way test that we think, say, and do first. Second.
All concerned.
Third.
Good.
And fourth.
All right, the introduction of our guest and visiting Rotarians, Keeley.
All right, we have a long list, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around to the Rotarian who has brought a guest, and I'm going to have you introduce your guest. And we will start out with Jan Jared Tanksley.
I have up with me today my wife, Gia. You haven't met her, please come say hello.
I have today my daughter Kelly Andrews Wall with us. Thank you.
And we have Larry Faust over here with a guest. All right, while we're over here, I'm going out of order so if I miss somebody, raise your hand because I am definitely going out of order, but we'll go around.
Hi, Valentine of 50 plus years, Charlie.
Hey.
All right, next we have Tom Carr has brought a guest.
We have today my sweetheart and former First Lady, Kathy.
Let's see. Jay Evans is on the list, but I am not seeing Jay here at this time. So we'll skip down to Jason Halls. Jason, who's your guest?
I have my wife of 21, almost 21 years.
Uh-oh.
A high school sweetheart, Michelle.
And I saw Julie a minute ago, but this is dangerous when you're like walking around and seeing everybody. Julie. introduce your guest who really no introduction, but introduce him anyway.
Introduced, but everybody knows my sweet, loving husband, Todd Porter.
Todd again. Jennifer, introduce your guest to us.
This is my husband, Scott Shepard. We met in college at Vanderbilt, closing in on our 30th anniversary. And his ringtone is my phone. In my phone is the Indiana Jones theme song because he's a little bit of a badass.
Whoa.
All right, and now Linus has a guest who's clearly not sitting right next to him. Ah,
I have my wife of 36 years, Kathy Sinjas. Here's my guest.
and Mr. Jeff.
This is my wife, Donna Wood. Yes, she is my wife, even though she has a different last name. 24 years.
All right. And Peggy. Peggy Ray. Oh, there we are.
This is Ashley Burnett. Just that right. She's visiting and she's actually going through the membership pipeline and works at the Heritage.
Awesome.
And then Michelle, who also I have not. Oh, well, all right. Well, how about you just introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Teddy LaFollette, Michelle's husband. She's actually outside in the parking lot on a call. May or may not make it in, but I'm here.
Well, we hope you feel very welcomed at this point. All right. And let's see. Beth, I saw Beth a minute ago.
Hi, good morning. We have Claudia Buchanan. She's with Morning Point and she's filling or taking the spot of Jordan Nielsen, who should be going into labor at some point any minute. So
Wow.
welcome.
All right. And I think, believe it or not, that may be the end. Oh, wait, we got something from Curry over here.
Tell one story. Larry Kane was kind enough to send us a beautiful bouquet of roses, which we've used at numerous events. And at one of them, one good friend knew Larry and knew all of us because it came from Larry and Layla, and they wanted to know if Larry was now dating.
Larry, would you like to introduce Layla this morning? All right. I think that covers all of our guests. Did I miss anyone? I did go out of order on my list here, so I don't want to miss anybody. You are all valued guests. We're thankful you are all here. Happy Valentine's Day to you all.
Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate that. Happy Bucks. Bob Thompson.
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I have two $2 bills to start this with. One is to say Happy Valentine's Day, especially to all the ladies. The second one is I'm delighted to be back from a 2-week cruise to the Panama Canal. I'd like to report that the Chinese are indeed there. We're watching them very closely, and those locks still work very well after 111 years.
Wow. And make sure y'all put the microphone up real close so everybody can hear you.
Okay, next. Here we go.
It might look like a quarter. It is a silver dollar. That's all I could find as far as dollars go. With that said, today is the first day of baseball season, collegiate baseball season, where my defending national champion Vols are going to do it all again. The end.
Mr. Kane.
This is happy time. At your table, you will notice a large box of candy in the middle of your table. I think everybody sees that. Behind one chair at your table, there is a heart attached to the chair. Whoever has that chair, like you do, that's your box of candy. Please take it home. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? There we are.
Nobody else? Anybody else?
I'm happy to say anything.
All right.
Okay.
Of course, it is Valentine's Day. I'm hoping we're all happy. Got a couple announcements real quick. Linus is going to come up for a brief announcement.
I got two quick things. First of all, you saw an email, if you read your email, about the major grant application window being open. Applications are due by March 7th. We may grant up to 5 local organization recipients $10,000 each. And if you need to see a copy of the application, please check your email for a copy of it. Well, that's not working the way that I expect. There we go. That's what the application looks like. You'll see it in your email. The other thing that I'd like to say is that if an organization was awarded a major grant by us in the last little bit, the last 3 years, they are not eligible. Here is a list of those organizations that got $10,000 from us in the past 3 years and are not eligible to get another major grant this year. The 2022 winners will be eligible again next year if they apply and are selected. The other thing I'd like to mention is about the microphone. Stephen was good to mention it a little bit earlier. Please use the microphone during meetings. And there are 3, I think, important reasons for this. First of all, some of the people in the room, believe it or not, may be hearing impaired. They may wear hearing aids, and they may not be able to hear unless you actually use a microphone. The second thing is no matter how loud your voice is, members who are online will not hear you. So using a microphone is really, really important. And also some people view the recording after the meeting. And again, they won't hear you unless you use a microphone. Here are some tips. Speak slowly and directly into the microphone. If you're in the audience, wait until somebody brings a microphone to you. And if you are using one of these, please put it close. So, microphone tips. Thank you for listening.
I have 2 more announcements. Is that okay? Come at 11:30 if you want to see our cornhole competition. Zach and Keely played today. Keely, you want to tell everybody who won? Okay, well, there you go. I'm surprised y'all are sitting together. Yeah, he told me in the parking lot he wasn't very good. Also, we've got workday coming up at Owls Hill Nature Sanctuary. Banks, I think you're over that, right? Okay, you'll probably make announcements on that. And don't forget Pancake Day, big day. We're going to have it with the Cars and Kids car show also. So make sure you block out that day. So outside of that, we're going to have Bert introduce our guest.
All right, everyone. Today our guest speaker is Edsel Charles. He is the founder and chairman for the Market Graphics Research Group based in Franklin. His home building and land development background is foundational to his passion for the business. He is also a seasoned background in real estate, holding his state Tennessee real estate license since 1982. Edsel has held leadership positions in the national and local home builders organizations throughout his career, including longstanding post as Senior Life Director since 1987 of the National Association of Home Builders. Market Graphics Research is recognized as a leader in the new home market research industry. It's one of the largest privately owned research companies in the United States of its kind. If you will, welcome Edsel Charles, please.
So I have 200 slides. I've only marked a little X by 8 or 10 of them so that I can pass on. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of insight, kind of what's going on with the housing industry and lending industry for the United States. We are the largest market research company in the country, the best I understand. And my wife and I own the company. I used to have a guy who worked for me by the name of Dave Ramsey. David, I used to cut him a payroll check. And we have a father-son relationship, sort of, maybe. Depends on who you're talking to, which one is which one. So we physically pull all the courthouse records and all the plats, and then we physically go and hand count thousands and thousands of subdivisions, thousands and thousands in many, many, many states every 4 months. We have vehicles on the road pretty much all the time in numerous states. And so our data becomes from a hand count, just a different approach. I just sat down, we were just talking about going to fellowship church together. I'll make you an offer before I start. And I'm going to just say whatever I can. Here it goes, right? I had a guy come up to me. No, never do this, by the way, but here I'm going to do it here. I had a guy come up to me, I don't know, now 47 years ago. And he said, Solomon was the wisest man who ever lived. I said, really? Well, I fluffed it off. And then some months later, I don't know how long later, it's been a long time, somebody brought it up again that Solomon talked about lots of different kinds of people. I was curious, so I started to count them in Proverbs and counted 56. Well, I was wrong. About 2 years later, I realized that a slothful person and a sluggard are not the same, that they were different. And I recounted it again and ended up with 70. And spent the last 47, 48 years, I finished a year ago, took me 47 years of my life, doing a complete Hebrew and Greek dissertation of every scripture on every one of the 70 people in the Hebrew and the Greek. I've become very proficient in understanding the Greek languages and Hebrew languages. Over the years, I've finished that, only to have the Hebrew University in Israel check to see had that ever been done about a year or so ago, and they've concluded that it's never been done where somebody's taken all 70 types. I think there's only 70 in the whole United States. 70 types of people. You can go down in that little thumb drive and you can tap it, and what happens, it shows up all 70 on one page, and if you tap any one of the 70, I come on and give you a 15-minute introduction if you want it. And then it has everything about how to recognize any one of the 70s, of the 70 types of people. How to recognize a wrathful person, a scorner, what they do, how they think, how they're going to go after you, how they're going to leave you alone, how they're going to take care of you. All that's in there. I'm going to do something here that I don't remember doing. If any of you want that thumb drive free with 3,416 pages of insights, all down to a single page you can tap, I'll give it to any one of you free. You can have it free. They know how to reach me. You can't buy it. It doesn't exist in the world. And it deals with 70. I don't believe in a world of 71. It's all from the insights of the wisest man who ever lived. It's never been done before. You can have it free. Isn't that slick? That really slick. How much you want to bet there's only 10 of you that ask for it? I'm going to guess. Be interesting to find out. That's why I wanted your card. I'm going to send it to you. So I'm going to give you a couple of insights of what's going on in the housing world. When Jerome Powell came out and said that it was, do me a favor. I got 5 minutes left. You wave at me so I don't mess with these people. I know, but I'm not going to see it. I know. At my age, you have the right not to see things. So what we do is Jerome Powell came out with some stuff saying that this recession thing was transitory. He was lying through his teeth. I got two sides of me. 8 years in the Marine Corps during a tough time in our country. And then I got the Christian side, born again, right? So I can say to you, come on over here. I'll put my arms around and give you a great big old hug. And then I can say, you just need to shoot that dirtbag. So I got both sides. I know the second part you don't like. Let me tell you this part here. We are functioning and we are expanding, even at my age, across the United States. It won't be long, and we will have covered the whole country pretty much. Take us out of here. I just want to pick some charts. You let me do that with you, okay? Think that'll help. I want to show you something that's important, and because it'll help bring some credibility to what I'm about to tell you. I'm going to show you the inside of how a chart was made. We get no information from no one else. None of the charts I'm going to show you, anybody else has. We created all of our own charts, and we drive and count all of our own subdivisions in all these states. We get nothing from no one. We're the only one that's crazy enough to do that in the whole United States. There is a deal where if a builder is getting in trouble in Middle Tennessee, the first thing that shows up is a finished unoccupied home. And then he has another one show up, and then another one. And more builders, as the market goes bad, they have more finished unoccupied homes. Builders don't build houses to sit there finished unoccupied. They build houses for people to move into. So then how many homes should you have finished unoccupied? You need 24% to 28% of all homes going, sitting there on any given day, finished unoccupied, to have enough homes for model homes, for a builder to show, or for turn for people buying. So you need a range of 24 to 28%. If you're under 24%, you're underbuilt, and if you're over 28%, you're overbuilt. And if you get to 32% of all new construction going at any given day, you're in a recession. So the question becomes, how can you predict if the United States or Nashville is in that? We have just finished driving and counting all the subdivisions in the 12 counties of Middle Tennessee. And every month we turn out 6, 7, 8 states, cities we do. Let me take you right here. This right here is the national market current to 2 weeks ago. And if you come back and do this, in 2014, I'm going to talk to you by year right here, and I'm going to talk to you by month over here. Let me show you how it works. Back in 2014, here right away is that 24% number. Here's the 28% number, and here's the recession level. We were at the recession level back in 2014 because we were coming out the recession of 2009, and we came down, and by 15, we were here in 16, 17, 18. So we finally entered back into the range, and then it shot up in 19, and by 2020, COVID had started, and people were afraid to list their house because somebody's going to come to see it, and they were going to get sick, so they didn't list the house, and we fell short of existing home properties, and the builders' properties were being sucked up and used, and the inventory fell way like this in months. Just boom, it just fell the bottom. And then I was getting clients that were saying, don't give us this chart every year. Tell us by month what's going on so we can see what's going. And the next thing I know, and it started 22, we started this, and it fell again. And we have January, February, March, April, and May. In May, I told everybody, that's the last month, because none of this existed. I said, the Federal Reserve is going to raise the rates starting next month. And sure enough, they did in June of the next month. And we have all, when the Fed raised it here, they first came out and said it was transitory. Well, that's stupid. They were being political in what they did, Jerome Powell. And if he was sitting here, I would laugh at him and tell him that how stupid they did things. I know you don't think that's the right words I should use, but at my age, you just don't care no more. There's a very wonderful thing about getting older. You don't have to be politically correct anymore. It's wonderful. So anyway, so what happened, they asked if I would do it by month. So I was sitting over here, but none of us was here thinking, how's it going to go? And we went back to our records and determined that we could do 1% a month growth. We would be pretty close. And if you count these up, there's 12. It grew like this over next year. And we came this close to be accurate at 1% a month. You know what that is? That's called luck. I know we're supposed to be smart, you see, but that's called luck. And then it went like this, came up here. It's by month now, and we are here. And what it's going to do, it's going to turn down like this, and it's coming back here like this. There it is. That's where the housing market in the United States is headed. I know you think that when interest rates go up, they can reach a top and they'll come down. That's a lie. Or when the market goes down, there'll come a place they will go up, and that's also a lie. You say, well, what are you talking about? It's stupid. Well, let me show you how it does work. When the market's going down, it doesn't come to a place and go up. It goes flat. And it rides the flat place for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months, and interest rates bump along like this, and then it comes out like this. In the early part of 23, we were in February, and I said, we will reach the flat place in November of 23. And we reached the flat place in November 23. And then we came here, and we came to the place of coming out, and we said that would start in August last year. And it came, but then they found that the government had lied with their numbers on unemployment. They just found that out again since Trump took over, that they were off by hundreds of thousands, that they lied to make the previous administration look good. And they just found that out, and they just, a week ago, they just changed the numbers again. It's amazing. I don't know. That's an amazing bunch. Anyway, so we are now just in here, and we are struggling to turn the corner. Let me tell you what I'm telling everybody. Nobody knows what's going to happen with what Musk is doing. Nobody knows. The economists don't know. Trump don't know himself. Musk don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody in the home building industry, I don't know. Because you can get rid of $1 trillion of waste like they're doing, and I'm kind of having fun watching them. But there will come a place that the only way you can keep going with that kind of thinking is to lay people off. I think they're going to go all the way to $3 trillion, and it's going to get to the place where there's going to be a lot of squealing because you have to let people go. It's going to be really fascinating, but for any one of you or anybody, any economist to say they know the end of this program, nobody knows the end of that. So let me take you out of here. Here's Nashville, and we've ran down and came back up, and we are here right now in the Nashville market in terms of finished unoccupied homes. We are overbuilt in probably 60% of the Nashville market. I have cities that are not. Huntsville, Alabama is to die for. Birmingham, Alabama is not the best at all. Knoxville is reasonable. I go to Memphis. I would wish we could just take Memphis and get rid of Memphis somehow. There's got to be a way we can, just move it somewhere. Give it to Mexico. But I don't think we can. Fourth most dangerous city in the United States. I don't let my drivers go certain places. We track more gated communities in Memphis than any other city I'm in. It's just an amazing place. And yet there's places I like about Memphis. I like going into DeSoto County in Mississippi, and I like coming back out and coming back towards the Ford plant. There's a lot of good places there. I'm going to be there next week, actually. We're doing our housing forecast. What we do here is I'm talking to you today about this world right here. We break all the Nashville market into these pieces and puzzle. And for instance, take Williamson County and break Williamson County into these pieces. Here's Moore's Lane. Here's Henpeck Lane down here. And then we break every part into 8 price ranges. and we physically hand count all the subdivisions every 4 months. The reason I keep Montgomery County separate is because the 101st Airborne is over here, and the base commander sends troops on and off the base intentionally to screw up my charts. He does. And so let me take you out of here. If we come back, we're going to do about 15,460. This data is current to 2 weeks ago. Okay. So we're going to do 15,460 new homes. This is 11 counties that I keep Montgomery, it's not including Montgomery County. And let me just pass on some of this. I'm just giving you a quick overview of a few charts. Davidson County, currently, if you go back 4 months ago, they were moving in 2,527 new homes in the county per year. 4 months later, right now, we're moving in today at 2,101 new homes a year. Can you believe that? 2,201 families are moving in every year in Davidson. In Sumner, they were moving at 1,355 4 months ago back, and today they're moving at 1,517. Look at how it's gone up. Sumner County's way up. They've jumped. Just a hand counted now. Williamson County went from 1,479 4 months ago back 12. And today, 4 months later, we're moving at 1,482. We're moving at the same rate. So if somebody said, well, the market's really off. No, you can have a good market and the builders can still screw it up by overbuilding it, or they can underbuild it. What they're doing is not relevant to what the market is doing. And builders, anyway, don't chase people at all. They chase the deal. They go after the deal. There's nothing to do with you as people. They just build houses, and they build too many, build too little. They just chase the deal. It's not about people. It's about the deal. Wilson County, moving at 1,413 now, 1,243. Let me show you the end of this. The 11 county, because I watch my time. We were moving in 11 counties at 11,976 new families a year, just 4 months ago back 12. And today we're moving at 11,400. We're about 500 homes less, now a little bit more, that we've come off in 4 months in the absorption rate. But we are still closing over 11,500 homes a year in a downtime that we're closing right now. People, 11,500 are moving in right now. Isn't that an amazing statement? That is just almost hard to imagine. You take us past some of this stuff right here and past all of this right here. Why don't you all take me up on that thumb drive? You can't buy that doggone thing. I mean, price is right and so cheap. Let me show you something. There's a crisis coming in our industry. Let me show you what it is. This 1172 right here, I'm sorry, 1072, is the number of subdivisions that are started and not started. They're going through planning commission, not started. They're started and to get combined. If you go back 1, 2, 3, 4 years ago, we had 1,289 subdivisions started and not started, only new construction. And so what has happened is we have come off, we have 217 less going through planning commission right now than we did 5 years ago. We have an insane crisis coming on the land development side of life. It's unbelievable. Why would you be off 217? It's because government and more rules, more regulations, and interest rates go up, all kinds of reasons. Well, if you take the 1,072 and take out the planning commission stuff and just look at projects that are going, we have 723. But if you go back same 5 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, even just 4, we had 903. So you can say just in 4 years, we've gone to like this. We have 180 subdivisions, listen to this, in 4 years that have been finished. There's no more lots. Nobody can move into more in 180 subdivisions. That's the equivalent, by the way, of a whole county that's gone. And we've not replaced the sites. And the lot counts are down. Subdivision counts are down. We don't have stuff going through the planning commission. Let me show you another one. If you look at the development capacity, 10 years ago, we had 18,288 lots in the ground, all hand counted now, right? We don't get information from no one else. And then it went to 17,000 and 16,000, 15,4, 15,2. It kept doing it, went up a little bit and started coming back down. Then we had COVID and now we're back to 17,500. That's really about 15,000. We have dropped probably 4,000 lots over the years. So the market's gotten bigger and the subdivision counts, lot counts are going down. Let me tell you what you're going to hear. It's going to hear some screaming and hollering on the newspapers, in the radio, and TV, and all that stuff within about a year and a half. By the middle of 26 to early 27, you're going to hear all the screaming. Oh, we got such a crisis, prices of everything's up. If you, and there's some of you do, if you owned land and somebody wanted to buy your 100 acres, can you imagine them saying to you, you should drop the price of your land just to be nice? There's not one of you guys in here do that. I appreciate this organization. You're not going to do that. Why would anybody do that? So the more demand, the more crisis you have, the more nobody's going to take a deal or drop their prices. We are not coming into a time of lowering prices, nor we're coming to a time of raising prices, which is going to raise the home prices. It's going to make it harder for your kids to buy a house, much more difficult, harder for retirees to move down. Whatever you think about the home building industry, how it affects your kids, first buyer market, how it affects the retirees, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. And I wish that there was a way that we remove tons of rules and regulations. Nearly 20% of the total cost of all home building has to do with government and waste and craziness and all that stuff. But nobody's going to change. The home building industry crested 3 years ago with 8,300 homes going. Today we have 5,800 going. All counted. Let me just be quick. I meant to show you, right here. Let me show you this. This is kind of a summary. The current lot inventory, we have 17,584 lots in Middle Tennessee. In 2026, the market will need 15,860. In other words, we've only got 17,584 on the ground. Next year, well, 26, I could have done for this year, we're going to use 15,800 lots. Well, and we're not bringing enough stuff in. We got a problem. Well, between 25 and 30, the end of 30, we have 97,229 houses going to be built. We've only got 17,000 lots in the ground. I think 11,600 going to be in Williamson County. Williamson County is about 5 years away from hitting a wall, maybe 6. This going to one lot per house per 5 acres in the country areas, it was nuts. It's absolutely crazy. There's a whole bunch of reasons and how they're going to get hurt and how your taxes are going to go up because of that. Because right now you used to be able to put one house per acre, so that one house took care of the roads for 1 acre. Now you're going to put one house per 5 acres, so you have income from one house to fix the roads of 5 acres. And the prices are going to go up. Your land taxes, everything's going to go up. It's going to be a problem. But right now they're doing pretty good. And Davidson County is, ironically enough, right now doing 17,560 new homes a year. That downtown stuff is probably about 7-8 years away from slowing down pretty dramatically with all the tech stuff that's going on. Between now, if you look at this and say, well, how many lots do I have? Hand counted. How many homes am I going to use? How many lots am I going to use? How many do I have to develop between now and, I'm sorry, I didn't shut that off, between now and the end of 2030. Here's the deal. I have 123,240 lots that have to be developed just to catch up. I don't know how we do that. It's really interesting. So let me show you this. Right now we have 2,104 finished and occupied homes on the ground. I don't want more than 1,603. if I look at the whole 11 counties, we are overbuilding between the price range of 325 to 625. Let me pass on all of that. I'll pick some things that might have a little bit of interest. This right here is the employment in Middle Tennessee. Look at the stability of that. Isn't that an amazing chart? This is just employment, total employment of Middle Tennessee. This is the housing starts Middle Tennessee. And I'm not going to get off on the interest rates, nor am I going to get off of the treasuries or all this. I want to show you a chart that's fascinating. This right here, I got some investors, a couple of you, they came up to me and talked to me already. This is way back to 2001. And in 2001, we were able to sell homes for under $100,000. We sold 649 new homes that year for that. In that year, in 100 to 125 range, we sold 1,947 houses. So if you're an investor in here and you tell me how smart you are, I'm going to look at you, wonder why you didn't buy all 1,947 houses over here for 100 to 125, and I'm going to think you're dumb. So don't come and tell me that how good you are, see. It includes me, by the way, in the back. Let me just take us to here. Here's two. The green on here says you should have built specs as a builder. Yellow says, that's a good little spot. And then the orange, which is down here, or the blue, says you got to be careful. And the red says, what are you nuts building spec homes? So here's the market in 6. The market started a downturn in 6, and it showed up in 7. And by 8, we're here. And here the market bottomed in May of 9. And by 10, we were here. And we took to 11. It wasn't until 12 and 13 before we started to see the market turning around. 14 was a pretty good year, and 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. COVID was now started, and here, and we ended up, and we are today, right here is our condition of our market. We can no longer deliver realistically under 225. And so we have some spots. The red is all places that if you would like to go broke as a builder, if you happen to be in here, you come and see me. I know where to go. I can put you, I put places, just go under, no time flat. But if you want to make some money, you should go where you should make some money. But builders don't do that. The builders, by and large, I've been involved in Home Builder Association all these years, right? Past president of Builder Association, senior life director. Builders are by and large dumb. They chase the deal. They're not trying to find out where you want to live and what you want. They just don't do that. I know you think that that's crazy, and that's not possible, but it's true. I got a lot that are good friends that are, I would tease them just like I'm teasing now. If you go ahead and let me get out of that chart. I want to show you just a couple of them. This right here is how the lot count is going. Look at the number. We lost 119 lots here last year. We dropped 253 in Robertson County. Williamson County, in the southern part of Williamson County, dropped 37, dropped 76, dropped 16, dropped 55. Almost everywhere, lot counts are going down. And we don't have enough stuff coming into the pipeline. I'm just telling you straight, we've got a real problem coming in this market. Let me just pass all of this and show you the forecast. I'll get through all of this. So I'm going to wear you out, and I'm going to open for questions so you can ask a few questions. I just wanted 3 charts at the end. That'll be the forecast charts, which will help you. This is where the market's going. If you look at Williamson County, this is the rest of 25. Just disregard that. Here's the developed lot count. Here's what we're forecasting for 26, that we're going to build 1,902 houses in Williamson County. And this is every year going out. I have a little bit of a situation right now. I'm not sure 28. I think that normal economic cycles would put me a little bit caution in 28, but I can't see it yet. So I'm just going normal with the housing market going up. Between now and the end of 2030, I see us building 97,229 houses. Take us out of that, this breaks it down further, but here's how the market has gone back to 2001. We came after that major recession, came up here. We had forecasted this to be the forecast all the way to 2030. COVID came along, not enough existing homes, and the builders filled the void, and they came back down. And where they've come back to, by the way, is exactly on track what our forecast was. We're back to where it was. So here's how I see the market this coming year. How I see the market this coming year. I just will tell you this. Economically, we are probably going to be messing around with all what the government's doing right now. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's going to have an effect because the Federal Reserve is not doing what's right. Now, I'm not talking about changing rates at all. They make announcements. Last year, they're going to do 3-4 rate cuts this year. Well, the market gets all excited and it stops going down. And these guys are just, I think they call it thick-headed. And but they hurt themselves and they hurt the country by their arrogance or whatever they call it. Here's what I think what's coming. And again, I keep Montgomery County separate. We do Bowling Green up here as well, but I just don't have it right here. Let me do this. Let me open up for questions. I appreciate you doing that. Questions, anybody? Yes.
Hey there, I work in the utility industry, and obviously a lot of what we do follows new home builds,
Sure.
construction-based projects over several years. I don't know if your research includes this, but have you ever seen, like in a situation where you have a lot of overbuilds and utility providers come in and try to lay wiring and communication facilities and everything else? Have you seen them sometimes have to pass costs or higher costs for their services on to people or residents because of the fact that maybe they don't have a higher take rate in some markets? I'm just curious if you've seen any of the interplay between some of what you're talking about in the utility industry.
Yeah, a little bit. I have a lot of times Atmos gas has declined. I've done stuff with Nashville Electric and I mean, just on and on. Indianapolis gas company, just electric company. And in getting down into the weeds of their forecasting and for the big polls and how does that work, all of that. And there's been times when I've seen electric, and I'll make this one statement, and it's not going to totally answer your question. What they will do is they will subcontract out doing things because they don't want to add an extra crew, and they'll subcontract it out. Often they'll get to the place where they got 2-3 crews that are subcontracting because they don't want to spend the money or take the risk that the market's going to go down. Then they hate to lay people off. Go through all of these things. I wish I could tell you that I've always seen them being proactive, but they're really not. They always tend to be way behind in some of their conclusions and how they plan and how they forecast and how to do things. They're just way behind. I'm not trying to be difficult. And so they don't probably know the subdivisions that are coming. They don't know the markets out in front. They try to do that all themselves. Not all of them. So it's challenging because I think with the delay. Let me ask another question. Anybody else?
Well, I got a two-part question. Actually, one dealing with Montgomery County. I've sold several shopping centers,
Yeah.
a ton of them actually up in Clarksville, and I have some guys that do research for me. They were showing, I guess, from the state economic development Department of Economic Development, they had some projections showing Clarksville in the next 5 years.
Showing what?
To Clarksville.
Yeah.
To exceed Chattanooga in population. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
And the other question I had is that DeSoto County.
I think that's dumb, by the way. Okay.
Dumb that Clarksville.
Yeah, no, I
has,
think the Clarksville, that's to say they're going to do that with Chattanooga, that's stupid.
I might challenge you on that.
Yeah, no, but
well-
here's what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm hand counting all the subdivisions, tracking all of that.
Right.
And it's not, I'm not getting weird data. Chattanooga's got a lots going for it right now, and I like Clarksville lots. and it's got a lot going for it, but they cannot take current little bit of excitement and project that as, you know, man. And they're dealing with people that moved to Clarksville because their kids were in the military. And there's so many things. Anyway, just.
Well, I challenge you on that. LG, Hankook Tire.
Yeah, it's
I mean, they've
great.
got
Those
labor
I'm so happy for Clarksville.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
The other question was on DeSoto County, and you mentioned Ford. I guess you're referring to Blue Oval City.
That's correct. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that area there and growth?
I think Ford screwed up.
You think Ford screwed up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My mind, no, I know what I'm being contrary. Sounds like I'm being contrary. I'm not trying to do that with you. But let me tell you what I've done. I've done all kinds of research over that. Let me tell you what I did. I took Ford Blue Oval and I took 10-mile rings for 100 miles each direction, except I didn't cross the Mississippi. Okay. I just was careful. And then I tracked all the mayors. It was 98 mayors within all my world, all by 10-mile increments. I'm going to be there again, putting a housing forecast coming up here, and people are going to be in there, okay, this coming week. And I've said to think that all electric is the answer. It's not the answer, but there was a frenzy for a while. But I said, if you wanted to go with combination electric gas, I will never buy another car that's not electric gas. I will never do that. Not a plug-in now. I will never do that. I can't, I get 42 miles to the gallon in that Toyota I got outside. It's just amazing. So I think that they had to do a conversion over to hybrids. And they're in the process of considering that right now. I think they're going to do well if they do that. But they look for all of the utilities. There's no utilities if you get outside of the Memphis world, literally. And I know the guys who are mentioning it. I know they got the state of Tennessee. I know the people, the engineering firm that was used. They get data from me. You know what I mean? They did, however they planned it, whoever gave me the information, I just think it was awful. And so what I did is I took the 98 mayors, and I just tell you this, and I'm going to quit. I took the 98 mayors. You know what I did? I wrote them a letter about that. And I said, I thought if I could just want to see what's their involvement. I took 5 little statements. Do you like the idea of Ford coming with their plant? 5 little things. And I said, if you want to check on me, here's the telephone number, the cell phones of some of the banks in Memphis. Almost all the banks are clients of mine. Builders, developers, they're clients. I've been there for years and years and years. So if you can check on me, see if I'm a dirtbag, you know, or incompetent or whatever. But 5 little questions to these mayors, 98 mayors. You know how many responses I got? 3. 3 out of 98 responded. 2 of them gave me grief as if I was trying to sell them something. I wasn't selling them nothing. I wrote another, I figured, well, they didn't get it. I sent another letter out, trying a little different twist, being kind, gentle. Right up front, you can call and check, you know. I didn't get but 3 responses again. Now you tell me they don't have the utilities, they don't have how Ford is going to try to get them to bring housing and utilities and support for people. I don't know how they're going to do that. I appreciate you. Let me come. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
He'll hang around after for a few minutes. So any additional questions? We're past our time. We're going to have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for speaking to us. We have a book that we'd like for you to sign. We're going to give you the pen, and we read this book to first graders. And we'll mention that you came and talked to us. So just sign your name and put something a little nice in there. Appreciate that. I want to thank all the guests for Valentine's Day, all the husbands, wives, visitors, new potential members for coming. Really appreciate that. Don't forget, help clean up, stack up. We're not stacking up.
Leave the tables and chairs just like they are. Just clean up the stuff on the top of your table. That's all we got to do. Don't take the
Awesome.
tablecloths off. Don't do anything to the. Leave everything just like it is right now. Just clean off the top of the tables. Don't take the tablecloths off.
All right. If there's nothing good at Rotary, we're adjourned. Y'all have a good weekend.